Go to the phone lines. I am checking some texts to make sure we don't have any pertinent information. So trying to go through those and get everything up to date. And it looks like everything's holding as far as texts and all. So we'll keep you up to date on that as we go along. So let me move this out the way. Let's take some phone calls. I do appreciate all the public officials that come in. You know, a lot of times it's, you know, how do I say this? They don't get enough credit for the good they do, but when they do something bad, they get a whole lot of credit in a negative way. So sometimes we just have to stop and thank our public officials for being out there in the weather, making it happen. I know it's their duty. It's why they run. It's why they get elected. But let's recognize them when they step up to the plate. And if they don't step up to the plate, then we can be critical. But I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of people buzzing around doing a lot of different things. And, you know, sometimes they do want to come on and tell their story. They do want to come sit on the set and let you know what they're doing for their district, because we're all creatures of habit. And we want everybody to know we're doing a good job, because that's how they get reelected. But give them credit when they're doing the right thing, and give them a pat on the back too, because they need it. They get tired. And, you know, same thing. Always tell you, the HTV crew, we're about to roll in some video. They work endless hours, especially during these emergencies, and I sure thank them, and I appreciate them. And I appreciate the new sponsors that came on board to HTV. You just saw all those spots roll, and the reason we can do this and bring you these events is because of the patronage we get from our sponsors day in and day out for 25 years, and thanks to them for making this happen. Let's take some phone calls if we can. HTV, welcome to the program. Go ahead, please. Hello.
Hello.
You're on. Go ahead.
Oh, I've been waiting 30 minutes to get to you, Martin.
Oh.
I want to let you know you're one of the best. You are the best. You stand by us every time we get in a bind. And I wanted to thank you. I don't think you get enough thank yous. But by the way, when I call, everybody goes and tells my daughter, "Oh, your mama's on the phone." You know what? I got the accent. I never lost it. I've been here 30 years. But the reason I call that little jackrabbit, he's gone. Here's a lot. I hope he's listening. He's not bad, and I don't insult anybody. I know how to treat people. I worked medical board for 8 years, and believe me, everybody, I could say hello, and they tell me my name. So it was Tizzalata. That's for Councilman. I invited him out. He came out. It was putting driveways for all the ones to the Howard Street lights. Okay, did you know he put a darn driveway for people that wasn't even using it? My driveway, I got a circle driveway, and he hadn't done it yet. And he's running. I like him. But what you gonna, I mean, how can you get across to it that he has to do what he promises?
Okay, so I mean, you know, I can say this. I know a lot of the councilmen are out there. You know, the thing, being a council person too, is really a thankless job sometimes, because one branch or one garbage can that's stuck in a drainage basin can flood a whole subdivision. So I know they're out diligently trying to keep these things open. So, you know, I agree with you. Sometimes they're out there doing it, but sometimes it's very difficult, but they're out there trying to do a good job.
Oh, he made a very good impression on me, and I thought he would do it. I still think he'll do it, but I wanted to tell him. You think he'll listen to you? I hope he's listening.
Oh, they all listen to the public. You saw, I mean, the public has a big voice, and the public always, elected officials always listen to the people if they truly want to get reelected.
Right, you're right. And I thank you so much. The husband and I, we're getting on up there. We're elderly, but we're still here. We're still kicking. And I want to thank you for all the many times that you've been on for everything, come rain or shine, whatever. And I
Well,
think
thank
need
you.
to be
Can-
noticed.
And I want to pass it on to my crew too, because they do a great job.
Oh, they all are. Everyone I saw in the Gordy, Michelle, what is it?
Miss-
Corday?
Mr.
Corday.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them in Tillman, and I knew all of them. They're all good, but the ones that I wanted to talk to was that little Pizzle Island.
All
So
right.
I hope you get the news.
All right, well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
HTV, welcome to the program. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yes, you're on. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Martin. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing just fine. I live out here on the east side off of Troy Street.
Okay.
And very excited for my councilman, Mr. Joey Seahan. I give him thumbs up all the way. I was out in my driveway at 3:30 this morning with the high water, and he was there checking on us, and saw him numerous times since then. He's just been really, really caring for us back here, and I want to give him the acknowledgement he really deserves.
All right. I'm sure he appreciates that. You know, each district who deals with their council people know them better than they know them better than we know them in the media. They know them better than the other districts know. So y'all know your council person, so who better to talk about them than people who live in the district?
Oh yeah, and he lives not far from me, and he was back here, and him and I were having a great conversation on my driveway, and he was explaining to me how the pump systems worked and everything. Just you know, not that he could do a whole lot right there, but it's the fact that he was out and being available for anything that could be done, and we appreciate them, and we appreciate your crew and everything that goes on. I tell you, it's just been a great, and I love Body Time. I watch it all the time. This
Well,
is the
thank
first
you.
time I actually call in, but you know, this was, I just really think Joey needed to be, people need to know how great he really was through this time of need.
Well, don't be a stranger. Call us up some more on Bayou Time.
All right.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
HTV, welcome to our program. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Martin.
Hey, how you doing?
Good morning, man. Y'all doing a fine job.
Well, thank you.
Hey, I want to answer a question that one of your earlier callers was concerned about, the Spit Ridge pump station.
Right.
It definitely is pumping into Bayou Little Kai. That's the reason why a little further down from where I live, they having the flooding they're having. Because what's happening, that pump station there is pumping out all the Bayou La Cache
Okay.
from Upper Bayou-Side Drive all the way from Jeff Drive coming down. You got all that rain we had last night that's got to go somewhere, and it's going to come south. And that pump station is pumping all that water into Bayou Little Kai. And the bayou over here, it's swollen. I mean, it can only hold so much.
Right.
And then from here where we live, I live just below the Sarah Bridge. You know, we have on the edge, on the ridge on the bayou side. You know, and we got actually probably about 3 or 4 foot of water on the ground from the bayou. And further down where the little Kaya schools at, which been closed a while, that school there has water in it. I mean, the pumps that they have to pump out the water behind the streets along by Little Kaya and the backside, they can only pump so much to pump it out into the lake and whatnot, you know.
Right.
It's just, we just had another little Peter band passed over us, probably dropped another ½ inch of rain on us or whatever. But according to your radar, whatever it looks like you said, we out the woods, you know.
Okay.
We're just going to have to put up with the couple of little showers we got. And thank God I live further up. We don't have to worry about no water where we at right here.
Yeah, we have
On the
Mr.
edge
Clayton
of the red.
Voisin, who's also coming in, and we're going to talk with him in a second. But look, what I want to do, I have Mr. Reggie Dupree on the
Right.
line. He could probably give us a good overview of the pump station. So if you listen in, I'm going to ask him real quick, okay?
Yeah, I've been listening to you all morning long, and and like the pictures you showed down in Guidry, you can tell the water's going down. You know.
Absolutely.
From the
How's it
early
looking?
pictures.
How's it looking where you're living right now? Has the water started receding?
Well, actually, in Bailey, the water can't go nowhere right now. I really can't tell you if it's going down at this point in time because we're still having rain and they're still pumping water out of the Smith Ridge pump station, and it's going to kind of balance off until they can get all that rain from last night. We had early this morning. We had some serious rain showers.
Yeah.
Some serious feeder bands that passed over us, and until them pumps down the bar catch up, you know, that area apparently is always a low spot. You know, normally if Chauvin Brothers going down, you normally have that water on the road and all, but to have it as far up, you know, like they said, for Wolf's Pharmacy going down, you know, that's a good bit of water.
Absolutely.
We got to rig up some pump, some kind of way to be able to keep up to pump out, because that water's all got to go into the lake and it's got to go to by Chauvin and all to be able to get that water out of there, because the water's trapped between the locks.
Yeah, well,
Like
there you see,
there.
you see some of the. You can tell y'all went a little bit of the orange and yellow last night,
Right.
and y'all got a good bit of rain.
Oh yeah, it rained. I was up. It kind of woke me up. I was up in the early morning hours, and you know, there ain't nothing better than a good old fashioned sheet metal roof. You know, make you rest better. You know, especially me being paralyzed. I lay down in bed and I hear that rain. I get to rest good. Just the wife get nervous every time she hear a little gust of wind or some hard rain. She's worried. She's a tornado when they show a little tornado warning, that they panic. You know.
Well, no, I understand. And people get a little nervous. What I'm going to do, let me get, I have Councilman Clayton Voisin, who's on the set here. We appreciate him coming by. I have Mr. Reggie Dupree on the line. So listen real carefully, and he might give us some information that's pertinent to that drainage, okay? But thank you for calling.
All right, Bart, we're getting another little shower right now. There's another little band passing over us, and I guess it's going to be the same thing, but that you know, if like that caller that said earlier, I asked earlier, Smith Ridge pump station is pumping Viola cash out to actually keep the people to the north and the people across the highway kind of dry, you know, because I mean the water's got to go somewhere. They got to pump it somewhere, so that's the reason why. And then with all that rain we had last night and the rain we're having right now, it's just a matter of time of when it's going to drain out.
Okay, well, hang in
That's a low
there.
area, man.
Hang in there, and we're going to ride it through.
But you know what else also, when you had all the council members up there and all, when that question was asked, notice, and Gordy Dove and all, everybody kind of shrugged their shoulders that they wasn't aware. I mean, it was a question they couldn't answer. But living down here, I've been living down here on Boside Drive for 45 years, and every time, you know, we'd have a big rain or whatever, I'd pass up going, you know, go up Highway 56, going toward town, and you can see it when it's pumping. It passes underneath that little bridge right above the Smith Ridge Bridge. And you can see the water coming out that little by that pump station coming in to buy a little car. So it's normally common sense, you know.
Well, we
got to pump out up a by-side drive.
And we certainly appreciate the education. Now, listen in, I'm going to get Mr. Reggie Dupree on, but thank you for calling. And we have Reggie, are you there?
I'm here.
And also have Councilman Clayton Voisin on the desk live with me. Give me a little dynamics right now as we listen in on Highway 56, mainly from the VFW to Wolf's Pharmacy, and what are the dynamics working out there right now?
Well, that's the lowest part of Highway 56 in the main Chauvin area. That area traditionally always does go on under, and the gentleman that was just talking hit the nail on the head. That's been a problem since day one. You know, we do have floodgates on each side in Chauvin. Chauvin is the only isolated community where we've got floodgate on the north and south side of the community in the Woodrow Canal and up a little Caillou. The Smith Ridge pump station has been an ongoing problem which predates the floodgates, and it pumps water into a closed system. And no matter what, I think the solution is going to require probably double handling of water. There's going to either have to be another pump station put somewhere around the Sarah area to pump it outside the system in the Lake Woodrow Basin, or some type of large pumps at the foot. Now, either way.
But let me ask you this, Fred, so you really, and you're almost having to double handle it, but there's really no way around that, right? I don't know if I lost him or not. You there, Reggie? Jay, we'll try to establish contact again with Reggie, but I'll turn my attention, I'm gonna put that one on hold, Jay, y'all can grab it in the studio, but we lost him, so we'll try to get him back. But I do have Clayton, Voisin, Councilman of Terrebonne Parish. Clayton, you've been out in the field, what are you seeing? Give me some of your, your assessments. Where have you been, and how's it working? How's everything working?
So far today, Martin, we've been through most of the bayous down by the large Grand Kaya Dulac area, over to the Chauvin area that the gentleman was just talking about. And the gentleman's exactly correct. What happens is that once you close the floodgates on lower Little Caillou, you actually pumping Smith Ridge and all of that basin behind Smith Ridge area and all into a closed area. And you're actually utilizing by Little Caillou at that point for a reservoir holding. And you wind up flooding somebody else out. What we need to do is open the floodgates, which has happened this morning, to let some of that water drain back down. Eventually, what we'll have to do, I think, to solve the problem, when you're not going to be able to open that floodgate, is to be able to do exactly what Reggie says: either pump the water over the floodgate into lower by Little Caillou to let it evacuate, or into the Lake Woodrow Basin. But it's almost impossible not to have to handle that water twice, because you're caught between Bayou Terrebonne and Bayou Lafourche. Yeah. That piece of property there between Little Caillou and Berg Montague area needs to be pumped out because of the residences that are there. But to be able to salvage those people's residence and lives and property, we're going to have to jeopardize somebody else's, is what's been being done. And to do it properly, we exactly the term you use, double handle, is what's going to have to happen, I think.
Yeah, Reggie, I know you're back with us, Reggie. We were talking, and we were talking about the...
I lost you.
Yeah, we were talking about the double handling of water in that area. But I know there are efforts to shore up Lake Boudreaux and all those, and it's getting closer and closer, but there's just a lot of dynamics you have to get around, and one of them's the water in that area, so the double handling, is there anywhere around double handling that water in that area?
Well, for that area,
I think we're losing him.
Upper Lackawanna Basin, I don't see any way around getting double handling of water. One thing in the for long range planning, what I would suggest, other than what we build in this interim Morganza system, the floodgate in Little Caillou should be moved between the twin span bridges in Folse, and a new barge should be built in the Company Canal in Berg, and which means that puts all of Little Caillou, Montague, a good part of East Houma and Berg all in the closed-in area, and putting some pumps at the floodgates in the south, and Woodrow Canal floodgate, and by Terrebonne and Humboldt Canal. That's one way of controlling that part of the whole southeastern part of the parish when you have this kind of situation. But what I just described probably was about $12 to $15 million.
Yeah, everything costs money. And let me ask you something, Reggie, and I have Clayton here looking at it on the screen. We saw pictures of Guidry not many hours back, had a lot of water in the parking lot and was filled up, and now the water...
Receding. I just left Guidry.
Yeah, so it's all, we're looking at a live shot, and it's receding.
One thing I want to note here, Martin, is the fact that if it wasn't for the Bush Canal, Plaza Canal floodgates, and the new levees between on the west, the east side of Bayou Caillou Ridge, south of Bush Canal, you would not be able to drive to Guidry this soon after the storm. Normally, that water would be just south of the Boudreaux Canal Bridge for a couple of days. So,
Yeah.
We do have some success stories in here. That little forced drainage system just south of Boudreaux Canal, the little Parish system, the first tropical system I've ever seen that it did not flood. So it's dry. And right now the Little Caillou floodgate, the Boudreaux Canal floodgate is open. And what we saw this morning at 5 a.m. was the highest water levels that we faced today. At 5 a.m. at high tide, you had a 6.5 reading at the Bayou Terrebonne floodgate in Lower Montague. In Boudreaux Canal, it was 3.1, so that was almost 3.5 foot difference, just a little over a mile away as the crow flies. And both of those readings I gave you are outside the system. So which tells me that the new levees and floodgates that were built along the canal really are going to do their jobs. When we drove to Guidry, there was no debris on the road or water covered the road until after we got past Cecil Lapperouse, which means that the new levee really held up well and it held back that surge that came in.
Well, let me ask you this, Reggie, and I think Clayton, you could jump in on this because you're familiar with the area, but my friends out there in Shrimpers Row, we were talking with them yesterday, and they were a little scared. And I think me and you talked, we didn't quite know the elevation, but say it's somewhere around 4 or 5 or whatever, but how are they faring today? Clayton, you want to start? Have you been down there?
Yeah, certainly have been, Martin. In fact, we've had to, Grand Caillou Fire Department has actually had to evacuate a couple of people from the Shrimpers Row area. There is some flooding in some homes.
The lower Shrimpers Row.
The lower part, yes, sir.
Yeah.
But Middle Shrimpers Row also around Onesia Street has suffered some flooding. There's a little bit of flooding in that area also, and we've had to evacuate some people. In fact, a good friend of mine, Mr. Parfait, a blind gentleman that we had to evacuate this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and bring him up to the fire station. And at about 7:30 or 8 o'clock, we moved him to the evacuation center for Terrebonne Parish at the Boundary Road Gym. And but all in all, the last time I checked, right before coming here, Martin, it appears that the tide has dropped in the Shrimpers Row area by about maybe 6 inches. It's actually dropped. In the Houma Navigation Canal, which I also checked just now at the Falgout Canal pontoon bridge, the tide is still coming in there, but on the Grand Caillou side, by Grand Caillou, actually for some reason the tide has dropped about 6 inches. The pontoon bridge, for your audience, if they hadn't been notified yet also, the pontoon bridge is out right now. There was a problem with it, with this wind and current, and it will be it'll remain in the open to boat traffic mode for probably another 2 days. So that pontoon bridge is out right now as of about 10 o'clock this morning. Some flooding in the area, but it appears to be going down. The pumps in the area seems to be holding its own or catching up, and we're confident that we can maintain where we're at now and hopefully not have any additional flooding more.
Okay. And Reggie, we have one of your board members up here now, Darrin Guidry, who just walked in to the conversation. And let me just ask Darrin real quick. You've been around the levee construction that Terrebonne has been performing with the parish. Seems to have worked quite well in this one.
It has. In fact, I've been out in the field, so I haven't heard the update from Reggie to see exactly what he shared.
He's on the line right here, yeah.
But Reggie can attest to this, that the system is working, and it is providing a benefit. We would probably have 2 or 3 feet more water in Lake Boudreaux if it wasn't for our H-levee system that is right now closed and is providing some form of protection. We'll never have protection for a major hurricane for decades, but we will have protection for minor hurricanes once we finish our system, and that includes the gate that we're building in the Houma Navigation Canal. As Clayton mentioned, water is still rising in the Houma.
The ones we should survive, we should survive them. And let me ask you, Reggie, as we move along, because Lake Boudreaux's always been, we call it the money shot in TV, because you could go to Lake Boudreaux or you could go to Island Road and always get a great shot for visuals. How is Ile de Jean Charles and how's Island Road right now?
I'm gonna tell you, we've taken that shot away from you because
that's what I hear.
Darrin is exactly right. Because of the levees that were built to the south, the Lake Boudreaux Basin is a good 2.5 feet lower than it otherwise would have been. Right now, I'm right near Chauvin Brothers, and Mr. Gautreau, Greg Gautreau and I are going to go to Orleans Street on Ward 7's levee, and I'm going to take a bird's eye view of the basin. But from what I see, the basin is considerably lower, which means the Ward 7 levees in Little Caillou are just backup levees, and they can survive a much better storm. East Houma is not going to have problems like we did before. Roberta Grove, Senator Circle, and those areas, you're not going to have tidal waters in there. You may have some rainwater that's backed up to the pump station. And then I would assume, and I'm asking this question to Clayton because I have not had time to make it in that area yet, but I assume the eastern side of Grand Caillou, or the Highway 57 side, main highway side, I would bet has not had any problems because Lake Boudreaux is not filled up.
How's 57, Clayton, Highway 57?
Highway 57 is opened all the way down to the crossroad. There's a little bit of coverage on the crossroad. The only place that there is water on Highway 57, for those who are familiar, is at the old IGA store, which has always been a low spot. We had it raised about 8 or 9 years ago. We had that section raised, but right now there's water running across the road right there by the IGA. Other than that, the road is free and clear all the way down.
Okay.
Clayton, which direction the water is running at the IGA? Is it running to the back or running from the bayou or to the bayou?
Actually running from the bayou, Reggie, flowing towards Lake Boudreaux, which you and I know in the past has been the exact opposite. And the reason for that is, naturally, some of the levees and things that you and Darrin has just mentioned that has protected us. The Lake Boudreaux Basin has not filled up yet, as ordinarily, I think, with what we have right now, would have filled it up. The other problem that I'm seeing, though, Reggie, is off of Highway 57, as far north as Bobtown. There is water coming in from the Lake Boudreaux area, from east to west, in the northern part of the parish, north of Lake Boudreaux. It hadn't gotten to the road yet or threatened any houses or anything, but I know for a fact that there is water encroaching from east to west back there, sir.
Right, in the low areas.
Hey, Reggie, let me ask you while I have you. The Oleander pump, you said you buy the Bayou Neuf pump station that they're working in Highway 56 and the Lashbrook. Everything working good with all three?
Yes, I understand it's all working. I just turned on Oleander Street, which is just south of Lashbrook. We're going to go walk on the levee and just see how high, how much freeboard we have. Another thing I thought I was pleased with this morning, the recent maintenance work we've done in the Money Marsh Management levee seems to have paid off because it's paid off tremendously because there was about 6 foot of freeboard behind the levees in one, which I've never seen a proper system with that much freeboard. But we were able to do some maintenance of the J2 line just in-house in the last few months, and it. You didn't have any problems from the backside.
Okay. All right,
so it's not one drainage street that did flood was the 4-3B system in Parish. That's the very end of Parish on the Terrebonne side. Water came over the road and through the island road, which we eventually going to put a ramp over the island road where the J1 and J3 alignment meet, but it's not built yet. The water was coming in there and also from the bottom. So obviously it's going to take a full-fledged floodgate to.
Okay, Reggie, hold that thought to tell me I got to take an immediate break, but I'm going to put you on hold. I'll be right back. We're going to take a break. More with Reggie Dupree, and we'll have many more guests coming through as the day progresses. Looks like everything working out right now. We'll be right back.